This is the Momentum Podcast. There is such a massive difference between what actually grows businesses and what most people sell and market to entrepreneurs. Because we've all seen it. What's sold and marketed is success in 90 days, over-the-top promotions that are going to change everything. Do this launch and your entire business will shift. Here's what really grows businesses, and this is something, if you can't tell, I'm passionate about because so many entrepreneurs are going in the wrong direction today. The fact is, consistency over time scales a business, and it's about the only thing that does. I'm Alex Sharfin, and this is the Momentum Podcast, made for empire builders, game changers, trailblazers, shot takers, record breakers, world makers, and creators of all kinds. Those among us who can't turn it off and don't know why anyone would want to. We challenge complacency, destroy apathy, and we are obsessed with creating momentum so we can roll over bureaucracy and make our greatest contribution. Sure, we pay attention to their rules, but only so that we can bend them, break them, then rewrite them around our own will. We don't accept our destiny, we define it. We don't understand defeat because you only lose if you stop, and we don't know how. While the rest of the world strives for average and clings desperately to the status quo, we are the minority, the few, who are willing to hallucinate there could be a better future. And instead of just daydreaming of what could be, we endure the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. We are the evolutionary hunters, clearly the most important people in the world, because entrepreneurs are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution, and we always will be. If you're an entrepreneur like me, then you probably felt some discomfort, some body reactions, maybe even some frustration or irritation with the statement that I just made in the intro, that consistency is what scales a business. And here's why. I think as entrepreneurs, we are hardwired to want new and innovative and change and to make things different. You know, people often joke that if we see a squirrel run by, we're going to be distracted by whatever it is that's moving in our line of sight. Because we are evolutionary hunters. We are driven by the environment around us. We're adaptable. We change. We make things happen when we need to. But here's the challenge with our personality once we actually start scaling a business and growing a team. Is that when you have a team in place, when you have a business that's actually growing, heroics and over-the-top efforts and the things that have grown the business to where it is typically start damaging the business. And when you grow a business, especially once you have created a team, consistency will grow the business faster than anything else. And here's what I mean by consistency. It's doing the same things over and over again with a very high level of very well done execution so that you get high level results. And when I say consistency, here's what I mean. Be consistent with your team and your entire business will change. The biggest complaint in most entrepreneurial businesses is, number one, there's not enough communication. We don't know where we're going. Number two, we change directions too often. And that is a complaint across the board in entrepreneurial businesses. When I talk about consistency, here's what I mean. Holding the same meetings over and over again in the same way. Going through the same planning process over and over again with your team in the same way. Executing through a process with your team in the same way. In fact, when you look at our 5-step process of analyze, prioritize, commit, execute, and renew, it's literally those things that will keep your business moving forward. And here's why consistency changes everything. Doing things the same way, doing the boring things the same way over and over again with a high level of execution is going to help you grow. Because if you analyze your business consistently, you start to see a picture of what's actually going on and you create a new perspective in the business. When you prioritize what you need to do consistently, you and your team are looking at what's going on in the business and figuring out what actually needs to happen. When you commit through a consistent process to a written plan that everyone understands, everyone on your team through that consistency will know what's going on in the business and will understand what they need to do and what their role and responsibility is. Then when you execute as a team the right things at the right time in a way that you're doing it the same way every month, your team will actually get better at execution. When you do the same things in the same way over and over again, you create efficiencies and your team will get better at the execution process. And then when you renew your strategic plan in a way that your team knows what's coming, they understand how it's going to be done, they understand the process in advance, your entire team will scale. And it's not just consistency in your process, it's actually consistency in how you approach your team as a CEO. We as entrepreneurs, we often appear inconsistent. We can appear kind of all over the place. And here's what I mean by consistency with your team. When you schedule a time to meet with them, show up. Be the stability that they have been looking for. Here's something that I want you to understand about growing a team is that most people on your team have never experienced an environment of consistent stability. Let that sink in. Most people on your team have never been in an environment where they experience consistent stability. Most people did not experience consistent stability in their families. Most people did not experience consistent stability in most of their lives today. Most people did not experience consistent stability in school. So a lot of us have been and in other jobs before they worked for you. So most human beings haven't been in a situation where there is stability that they can count on. Well, let me give you the opposite of that, and I'll share it with you very personally from our company. For years, our company didn't get traction. We weren't moving forward. We weren't consistent. It wasn't until I applied Russell's policy of one avatar, one product, one promotion, where we really started getting consistent. But it goes beyond that. For our business, when I show up in the same way for my team, when I'm consistent with how I communicate with them, when I don't change direction and I let us actually fulfill a strategy, that's when our company feels like it's growing. And that's when our numbers show that we are actually growing. When I'm not constantly changing things, when I'm letting the team guide where we are going, and when I'm showing up in the right way, when I'm showing up at the same time, in the same way, for the same type of interactions with my team over and over again, here's what happens, and this is why consistency will drive scale. Now, this is big, and it won't happen for everyone because you have to be incredibly consistent to get to this point. But here's what I've observed over and over again, both in my company and in the businesses that we coach. When you create an atmosphere of stability, when you create situational stability in your company, not only will the business scale, but your team members will actually lean on the business for strength and support. I know that sounds maybe far-fetched and maybe a little crazy, but let me give you a couple of examples of what I mean. Knowing that most people have never been in a stable environment and may not be in a stable environment now, when a company becomes the stable environment in their lives, when a company creates stability in their lives, here's some of the things you might see. We have multiple team members on our team that take vacation days. We call them wellness days. They take time off and they'll still show up to our daily huddle. And I've asked members of our team before. Karina does this, Greg does this, Dustin has done this, Deanna has done this. I think almost everyone on our team, I've done it, where I've taken a day off and I still sign into our huddle. Why? Because the consistency of seeing the team is part of my routine, and it makes me feel grounded and it helps me feel aware and present for the day. And I love connecting with everybody on the team every day. And when you ask team members, why are you coming to this huddle on your day off? We get a range of answers, and I've shared this before on the podcast. You may have heard it, but when I first asked Karina why was she coming to our huddles, even though it was her day off, she shared something so profound that I'll never forget it. She said, for a long time now, I've had the symptoms of depression, and I'm paraphrasing. She didn't say it exactly like this, but she said something about, I've had symptoms of depression, and they've been there every day for a long time. And I realized working in this company with everybody here, I don't have those symptoms of depression anymore. So I'm not going to take any risk. I want to show up to the huddle and make sure that they don't come back. That was a game-changing interaction for me. Working with managing and leading people, because for one of our team members to overtly state that she had been experiencing uncomfortable symptoms of mental challenge, of feeling depressed, of having that chemical depression, that chemical feeling of constraint. Every entrepreneur has been there. We all know what that feeling of constraint feels like, that feeling of depression. It feels like you're not moving forward. It feels like you can't breathe. It feels like you're underwater. People like us need momentum like the rest of the population needs air. If we're not moving forward, we don't feel like we're alive. And so when Karina said that, it affected me so deeply. It made me recommit to every process we have in our company. and the systems and structures we have to protect the people in our organization. Because growing a business and being able to make money is something that I've done for my entire career. And growing a business to where it leads a category or leads a market or changes something or changes people's lives is something that I've done for my career as well. But growing a business where we don't just help the people in the business grow, but we help them overcome and get past what they were dealing with when they came to work with us, that is just transformational. That's game changing. That is a totally different level, and a level I've never been at before in my career like I am today, and it's extraordinary. But if I had to point to what has changed, if I had to point to what strategy has shifted, if I had to point to what is it that is making these types of amazing things happen, where people are showing up on their days off and where people are saying that literally working in our company isn't just earning them a paycheck, but it's helping them be more mentally stable and feel better about their entire lives, here's what has shifted in how I run a business. It's simple. I am more consistent today than I ever have been. I don't miss meetings. I'm not late. I don't tell people I'm going to do one thing and do another. When I make a commitment to my team, that is the most important commitment on my schedule in any given day. And it wasn't always that way. I was just like a lot of other CEOs, making appointments with my team, missing them, showing up for meetings 10 minutes late, telling people I would do something, not being able to get it done. But today, I now realize the more consistent I am, the more my team trusts me. The more consistent I am, the more my team believes the future I'm predicting. And the more consistent I am, the more incremental time, the more discretionary time I get from my team. Because when we become the source of stability in somebody's life, they will put their energy, their effort, their attention into the position that they have that is growing their lives, making them feel better and giving them the energy that they really want. Consistency will scale your business more than anything else. I've devoted my life and my career and the current business that I have to helping entrepreneurs become more consistent, increase the level of trust they have with their teams, and go out, build companies, build teams, create empires, and change the world. And if you're ready to become more consistent so you can grow a business faster, if you're ready to finally get to the next level of running a business that you know you should be at, and if you're ready to scale your business, grow your business in a way that won't just give you more money, and it won't just help you make a bigger impact, but it may just help you change the lives of the people that you work with on a daily basis, reach out to us. Go to predictablebusinesssystems.com, answer a few questions for my team. We'll give you some information on what we do. And if you choose, you can set up a call with a member of our team to understand what we can do for you. And if you've been in a business that's growing and you have opportunity and you know you could be doing more and you feel that frustration of leaving money on the table, not doing as much as you can, and knowing that you just can't do it all yourself, the time is now. Go to predictablebusinesssystems.com, answer a few questions for my team, jump on a call with us, and let us show you how we can help you grow consistently, scale your business, and make a massive impact in the world. predictablebusinesssystems.com.